Think back to when you were young. Who shaped your sense of the future? Whose voice, however small, made the world feel a little bigger? When we talk about the future today, we almost always reach for the same three words: crisis, uncertainty, instability. Young people hear them everywhere, at home, in school, on social media. Nearly 60% say that financial pressure weighs heavily on them, and almost half believe inequality will shape their future. Over time, something dangerous begins to happen. Young people don't just hear the future is uncertain. They begin to believe it's already broken. They begin to feel there is no place for them in it. The biggest threat we face today is not economic. It's a generation growing up without hope. For over 25 years, I've worked in finance, helping people and institutions navigate uncertainty, long-term risk, and constant change. Alongside my day job, I have mentoring students, coaching job seekers. I have seen firsthand how people, especially young people, think about the future, what they fear and what they hope for, and how quickly confidence grows when just one adult believes in them. My perspective doesn't just come from research. It comes from sitting across the table, listening to their stories, and watching what happens when they are finally given a real chance. Hope does not suddenly appear in adulthood. It is learned, modeled, and practiced early in life. Cross-culture youth research confirms that hope is a universal protective factor that supports positive youth development. I learned this long before I knew the research. I grew up in the Kvarken archipelago in Finland, where the horizon felt both close and infinite. Life there teaches you two things. Nothing happens unless you step into the boat, and you never really row alone. The island drew borders, but for me, those borders became beginnings. We take a small wooden boat out in the water, exploring simply because discovery called. Back then, I never saw myself as limited. But at home, the future was deeply uncertain. My father had cancer, his prognosis was poor. And yet, he made a choice, not about his illness, but about his presence. He showed up, he laughed, he planned, and he encouraged us. He lived as if life was still worth leaning into. He included me, did things with me, believed in me, and told me I was good at many things long before I believed in myself. That simple choice to show up is what turned uncertainty into hope. Research confirms what my father modeled. When adults meet uncertainty with agency, children develop resilience. But when we adults model helplessness, we pass down anxiety. Today's young people are bombarded with headlines telling them that the economy is failing, jobs are disappearing, housing is impossible, but also an even bigger concern, safety and security, whether life will feel stable enough to build anything meaningful. But beyond the headlines, there is a quieter, more profound crisis: loneliness. According to the Finnish Red Cross Loneliness Barometer, 66% of young people aged 16 to 24 in Finland feel lonely at least a few times a month. A staggering jump from the year before. 1 in 5 say they have felt in this way for 5 years or more. Prolonged loneliness increases learning difficulties, worsens mental health, and erodes a young person's sense of belonging. We cannot afford to let young people navigate uncertainty alone. They need us to be present, to see them, and they need us to show up. We are living through the biggest transformation of our lifetime, the rise of AI. And young people feel the pressure. Entry-level tasks are disappearing, the training ground for many careers is shifting, and the expectations to be skilled from day one are rising fast. But AI isn't taking the future away from young people. It is taking away the excuses we adults use to avoid helping them. AI can automate tasks, but it cannot replace belief, presence, or guidance. If anything, this technology will push us back toward the core of what makes us human: agency, creativity, and courage. And despite the pressure, young people today adapt faster than any generation before them. The use of AI isn't reckless, it's resourceful. AI can strengthen creativity, work quality, and well-being. But even the most adaptable generation still needs one thing that no machine can give them: adults who show up. While young people embrace local tools, they trust local leaders. Why? Because local leaders are visible, and visibility builds belief. A young person isn't inspired by a distant figure they never see, but they are transformed by someone who show up in their everyday life. I believe every child is born with an inner glow, a natural curiosity, creativity, and a belief in what's possible. That light doesn't fade because of lack of money. It disappears because of the stories we repeat. Stories that say, you won't have it as good as previous generation. Everything is already decided. You are too small to make a difference. Children are not born afraid of the future. They learn it. When young people learn early how to budget, prioritize, make choices, live within limits, they don't become anxious, they become capable. Because they learn that well-being doesn't come from endless consumption. It comes from competence, from knowing I can handle what I have, I can choose, I can adapt. Uncertainty is not the enemy. Helplessness is. Behavioral science shows that uncertainty paralyzes only when it's paired with helplessness. But when it's paired with agency, that's where innovations begin. We see this already. Young people today are learning new skills, adapting, innovating, adopting AI faster than any generation before them. Limits don't make them fragile, they make them inventive. Limits need competence, and competence is the fuel for well-being. Think back a moment. Do you remember a person who made you feel capable? Perhaps even more capable than you felt yourself? What would your life look like today if no one had ever given you a chance? Recently, a friend said 4 words that have stayed with me. Give us a chance. He wasn't asking for certainty. He wasn't asking for guarantees. He was asking for the very thing that changed my life. And providing that doesn't require us to be perfect. It only requires us to be present. To strengthen the next generation, we must show up consistently, not just when it's convenient. Model agency. Let them see what courage looks like in practice. Tell better stories about the future. Stories that open possibilities rather than close them. Involve them, because even small decisions build confidence. And be visible, because they trust what they can see, not just what they are told. And to the young people here in this room, you don't need to be ready to begin. Ask for a chance. Practice agency in small steps. Build competence, because competence grows faster than confidence and eventually pulls confidence with it. Your voice matters. Your choices matter. Every time we give a young person a chance, we pass hope forward. Hope isn't pretending everything will be fine. Hope is choosing to engage with life anyway. You don't need to hand young people a perfect map. You simply need to step into the boat with them. Because boats don't move by knowing the whole route. They move because someone picks up the oars and rows alongside you. My father taught me that, even when his future was uncertain, he rowed beside me, showing me that presence creates hope, even when the horizon is unclear. The future isn't cancelled, it's recruiting. It isn't finished. It's waiting for your participation. Choose to act. Choose to stay engaged. Choose to pass hope forward. Thank you.